Welcome back to Becoming Better Together. I'm your host, Brie, and today we are joined by a very special guest. He is actually one of my coaches, and this is Ammar Assad. I'll give you a little background. This is Ammar. He's a father, a husband, an entrepreneur, and head coach and mentor for Rob Dial's elite coaching programs, where he has mentored hundreds and hundreds of amazing coaches, and he is so excited to share the mindset behind being an impactful leader. So welcome, Ammar. Thank you for being here.
Thank you so much for having me, Brie. This is exciting.
I am pumped. I've been wanting to bring guests on, and I'm a person, you and I are very similar. We like to set goals and we like to kind of throw them away and not know the numbers. So I wanted to get 20 episodes. We're here. Now I get to bring in the elite guests, and you are my first one, my friend. So thank you.
Well, I am first happy to be the first guest of this badass podcast. If you guys have not tuning in, Brie is an amazing soul. And Brie's badass, and she's just an amazing numbers person as well as sales and mindset. This is why I'm excited to jam out today and share with the listeners what we got going on.
Awesome. Thank you. All right. So speaking of mindset and sales, that's what we're going to dive into, because he is the sales coach. I'm getting ready to do a sales workshop, and I helped him run Rob's sales program yesterday.
Yes. So Brie, you did no. So she's being a little modest right here. Brie was about co-host, my partner in crime yesterday when Rob Dial has an amazing program, and I run the sales aspects of the program. And Brie was amazing enough to because she's amazing in sales, amazing in business. I want to kind of bring her point of view of, and her, because I love, I always say you bring 10 salespeople, they're going to give you, if you ask 10 salespeople for advice, they're going to give you 10 different advices. And so seeing you yesterday over there, being able to help and develop the new coaches, I thought was powerful. And you were right in your element, Brie.
I love it. That's one of my favorite things is group. And so I'm grateful I got to do that. But seeing you also coach these hundreds and hundreds of coaches, I want to get into what patterns are you seeing right now out there in business? And even before we jump into that, give us a little bit about how did you even become a mindset coach? You come from a franchise world, you come from corporate America like I do. And suddenly we're in the world of mindset. What the hell is that?
What the hell is that? That's a great question. Kind of like when we met back in 2020, Brie, COVID, my businesses were on a halt, we didn't know what was going on. And being in the travel industry, I was not sure when this pandemic was going to end. So, I was listening to, our mentors podcast, and, before you know it, he was offering a free challenge. And then I decided to go in there, and I, just like you, Brie, you have that relationship, you trust somebody just through the podcast. You're like, oh, you know what? I resonate with this person. And I resonated with Rob, and then I joined the program, and then being a part of the community where obviously you and a bunch of our amazing friends, you're able to just have a lot of like-minded people. That's what got me to stay there. And when you talk about mindset, you're with hundreds of coaches, as you know, hundreds of people who want to be coaches, but at the end of the day, want to help. They just want to help. Yes. And for me, it's always everybody, I always says, knows business. Everybody understands business. There are people, especially with business backgrounds, that trust me. How do you know someone is an entrepreneur? They fucking tell you. That's how you know.
That is so true.
So why I got so intrigued in getting into the mindset part of it was because I always thought myself that, oh yeah, I'm good to go. I'm the best in system. I'm the best with systems. I'm the best with work. I'm the best with sales. But realistically, I didn't realize how many blocks I had as a business owner, as a father, as a husband, as just a human being. I did not do well with the blocks, and I was just being very stubborn. So mindset kind of opened up that world for me, as far as being open-minded and looking at things as the cup half full, if that makes sense.
Oh, absolutely. And it's so true. We don't see our own blind spots. And I'm thankful to you. You pull me out of my blind spots. And I tell you all the time, I feel like some days I'm just staring at a wall and I can't see on the other side of it. And all I need to do is kind of open or look through the window right to the right of it and see straight through. And you're usually my window.
Well, thank you for that. And the reason why, though, is that because at the time I have, I had so many people that were my window. I had Rob as my window, Dean as my window. We have mutual friends like Simon, Cass, Natalie, Abby. I mean, Colton. Like I can go on and on with the amazing people. But that's exactly why and where I feel is the most important part of a community. Like I know you have a big waiting list going on with your coaching, but I can tell you right now, the community, as you know, is the best part of your growth and self-development because you're not alone. And I feel like sometimes being an entrepreneur is fucking lonely, Brie.
It's horrible. It's horribly lonely. That's the only reason I started my Facebook group is because I had you guys, but not at that level yet. And I was just starting and I had no one around me that understood, one, what the hell's mindset? Two, what is online coaching? What
exactly
is real and legitimate? I didn't even know if it was at that point.
And that's a problem. A lot of people don't. A lot of people just go to simple Google. You know what? I have a problem. I have a block. Let me see what Google says. Okay, I'm good. But as you and I know, with you coaching your clients and me coaching the coaches, it's deeper than that. And it all stems with the mindset.
Yep.
Mainly, I'm not good enough. Why? Like, example, I have a podcast called the Leader's Life Podcast. So many people were like, why are you going to start a podcast? Podcasts are played out. There's so many podcasts out there. You have Rob Dial, you have Jay Shetty, you have Tony Robbins. And it's like, for me, that's not competition. It's like the more the merrier. It's like, if I can give back, if I can give one person to make them feel better or be a better person, then my job's done. I'm not doing it for the clout. I'm not doing it for the recognition. I'm doing it to give back the same way you are.
Yep. And I love this. I think Casey came up with this statistic. If you just resonate with 1% of the population, all you need is 1% of people to want to listen to anything you have to say. That's 86 million people.
Yeah. And that's 1%. So it's like with the podcast, like this right now, if I'm going to try to talk to everybody, I'm not going to talk to nobody. Right. But it's like that one person, that one experience. And that's why, the listeners of this amazing podcast will realize that, hey, you know what? Like, I resonate with Brie. I resonate with this block. I resonate with not being good enough, because that is the number one common issue that I have, like in that coaching world or in the mentor world, or even in the business world, is I'm not good enough, or comparison. And I mean, I can go down a whole rabbit hole about that.
Do you remember the I'm not good enough showing up for you when you first started now coaching and consulting outside of your other businesses? Suddenly you're now a mindset coach. Did that ever cross your mind as well?
Oh, absolutely. Absolutely. Because it's new. Yes. So like anytime we start something new, you're going to question yourself. You're going to have imposter syndrome. You're going to question whether or not you're going to do it. Just like, the program that we joined together, the Business Breakthrough program, I almost did not join it. Like as soon as I signed up for it, I almost canceled. I was actually speaking to my wife to try to have her talk me out of it. And she was like, no, just do it. Like your work is slow. Like I was looking for a bunch of ways out because it was new. And I already had a successful track record and everything else that I put a lot of time in. And I was like, you know what? I'm kind of chicken shit to try something new. I mean, very honest. And that's the problem, is that we all, I feel like, in this world, in this self-development world, you if you really want to make change, like change happens in two ways, Brie. Either you control the change or the universe is going to make the change for you. And sometimes the universe is not generous.
Most of the time, if the universe is the one making the change, it's pretty abrupt.
Yes.
So I talked about that a little bit ago, about it's either a feather that tickles you, a brick that flies through your window, or a truck that drives through your house.
Yes.
I don't want the truck of change to be the thing that makes people do something different and decide, okay, today's my day. I'm going to look a different direction. I'm going to make a little bit of a pivot and see where it lands me. And
that's exactly what it is. And it's like, I say this all the time. It's, what your dream life is. Like, what you want to do, whether it's like, I've played sports. So it's like, there was a time where I thought I wanted to be a badass baseball player, a badass football player, a badass, every type of sport. Right. And then it didn't work out. And then from there, business. And then I was like, okay, I started off, but every time I started, when I first started baseball, I struck out more than I got hits. And then I did well. Football, throwing the ball as a quarterback, I missed people more than I hit receivers in the beginning. Okay. Same thing with business. I had more no sales in the beginning than I had sales in the beginning. but the key is consistency and being focused, because the problem is that like everybody in today's day and age wants that instant gratification. I always say this right here, the phone, the cell. I'm holding up the cell phone where it's like you got Uber Eats on the top on your finger. If you're hungry, boom, it comes. If you want groceries, Instacart, boom, it comes. But when it comes down to success, there's no app for that. You got to do the hard work, and consistency is the secret sauce.
Yep. And discipline. What are you seeing that, all right, so you do the sales training for hundreds of coaches that have been through this program now. What are you seeing as kind of the patterns that makes a coach that's brand new to this very, very successful versus the people that maybe aren't quite there yet?
That's a great question. And the ones who aren't there are the ones who are trying to make it perfect. I just did the air quotes perfect. And the reason why they're like, oh, well, my Instagram is not great. I need to do better content. So I'm going to hold back. Wait, I need a lot of information before I go out and do this. Oh, you know what? Let me create a website. It's like they distract themselves because they want to be perfect. And my saying on perfect is perfection is just a delay to get you to your dreams. So what I say to the coaches who are successful, they have the approach ready, fire, aim, not ready, aim, fire. They go in there, and as Rob Dial says, they fuck it up and figure it out.
And that's what you have to do, though. And I remember myself too. There were many, especially my first year before I got into Elite and really stepped up into that identity of, okay, I'm doing this. I'm a business owner. This is very different than just being an employee. That shiny object syndrome, it can come in really strong. I need to do a website, and I need to be on Pinterest, and I need to be on YouTube, and I need to do all these things. What are you noticing again? Like the successful people, what do they usually stick with?
They avoid shiny object syndrome. Shiny object syndrome is the biggest, in my opinion, biggest reason why what holds people back from doing that. It's like they enroll in Brie's program, which is amazing, right? And then after they're there, after the first week or two, they see that it takes a little bit of work. So what do? They hop onto another program, and then they hop onto another program. And I call those people infobesity. It's like they want all that information but they don't want to take action. So what did the successful people do? They take action. They go out and learn the strategies on social media. They go out there and learn the strategies on sales. They go out there and, most importantly, put themselves out there and take action, because you can prep and you can prepare all day long. But if you're not taking action or doing anything with the information, you might as well be a school bus driver, school bus, or drive an ice cream truck or something like that, because I don't know what else you're doing with this information. So that's why I get very passionate about it, because I know how many people spend their hard-earned money, and then when they're so close, and I've seen this happen, either they go grab that bull by the horn and make 50, 60 grand like instantly, or they get lost. They go away and find out that, hey, you know what? I'm scared of success.
And it's fear usually that causes what I call them as course collectors.
Course collectors. I love that term.
I know this because I'm a recovering course collector. My first year I did. Once I got the itch and I joined Business Breakthrough and I started coaching, and I was action oriented in the beginning until I lost my first client. And then I became a course collector because I went into imposter syndrome and fear and all this uncertainty, and I need all the information. And then I became that for a while until I got spun back around, looked through a window and said, whoa, okay, hold on. What was working? What wasn't? Action was working. Fear, doubt, and insecurity about what I was actually teaching was not.
But here's the deal, though. You were aware. You caught yourself. That is the hardest part, though. The hardest part is to actually acknowledge and say, you know what? I'm distracting myself. I'm having shiny object syndrome. I am coming up with reasons not to take action on this amazing program that I just, invested in. And I say the word investment because when you spend money to self-develop, if you look at it as an expense, you're going to treat it like an expense. But if you look at it as an investment, you're going to treat it as an investment that's going to pay back dividends.
Exactly. And just think of the energy that word carries. Expense. You feel, oh, I don't want to do this. It carries that negative connotation right there versus an investment. There's hope. There's opportunity. There's something to take advantage of.
Correct. And that's, I mean, and you're a pro in the investment world. If anybody, I mean, I'm plugging this girl, but like Brie's helped me out so much with investments, because with everything going on, today in this world, you don't know what to invest in, and you don't know what's safe, what's not. And Brie, you helped me out a lot with that. So thank you.
And so this is one of the biggest mindset shifts for me, was that investing in myself, because I come from that world. And actually, big announcement, I left that world just to pursue coaching yesterday. So I'm so excited.
Laughing. So breaking news, everybody, Brie no longer works with her corporate job because she has been crushing it in this world and she loves to give. And because of that, she is now a full-time business specialist, business coach, whatever you want to call it. And I am so proud of you for that. I'm so proud of you.
Yeah. And it's good timing, I think, too. Just, well, the investment world is a little unsure right now, to say the least.
Yeah, but I want to ask you a question, though. You see, look at that. This is why I love this podcast interviews, because as we said before we got going, we said, you know what, we're going to be candid, we're going to be honest, we're going to be open. But how many people are in your shoes right now, Brie? Mm-hmm. There are so many people in your shoes that are working for corporate America. They are working for the man, the woman, whatever you want to call it, and are miserable. They are miserable. They take it out on their family. They take it out on their loved ones. They take it out on their children, because they are scared to live their dream life. And you are a perfect example of not doing what they did. So
well, I was, though. And that's the thing. I was. And that's why coaching was this gift to me. Did it scare the crap out of me when I needed to invest a lot of money into it? Heck yeah. I had never invested in myself. I invested in investments. And in 18 months of doing a side hustle coaching business, I've made more than my investments ever have.
You see? And because once again, you invested in yourself. And like I said earlier, that's the only thing that will gut dividends. Like, you will get more interest in investing in yourself than you will ever have investing in anything else. And that is like my humble, honest opinion. And Ammar 4 or 5 years ago would have told you you're fucking crazy. Don't do that.
Me too. A year and a half ago.
Mm-hmm.
I invested in coaching. I invested in business breakthrough. I did it on a credit card because I told myself I didn't have the money for it at that point. I don't have the money for this. This is a dream. This is some kind of fool's errand. No. And then I sat on my bed and I cried and tried to talk myself out of it for a day.
Exactly.
Here we are.
To talk yourself out of it. And
Here we are.
And I love it. And it's that's what it comes down to. But you had courage and you have support. And we talk about support system. Like, I have an amazing circle, Brie. Like, you're in my circle. We have amazing mutual friends that I always say, like, we'll give you the pat in the back, but we'll also give you the kick in the ass. And that right there, like, for you to take that leap of faith, being able to leave your corporate job, you don't get enough credit for that, because as I said, I get messages on the daily from my podcast, from the coaching program of like, I want to leave my job, but I'm just scared. Yeah. How am I supposed to support my family, support my kids? And you did it. So I just have to give you your flowers right there, because as I said, I know that wasn't easy.
No. And I think it was that I needed to see that belief a little longer. I'm very linear. I come from math. I come from numbers. And so stepping into this mindset world and learning about quantum leaping and abundance, it was all so foreign to me. I thought it was unicorns and it wasn't real. So I literally broken my reality in the past year and a half. And now my gift, hopefully, is for everybody else, is you guys can do this too. If I can do this, and I was pretty narrow in a tunnel at that point when Ammar first met me, I was very tunnel vision. If I can burn that tunnel down, and now here I am, and I'm so much happier.
Oh, you can see it. Your energy. When I spoke to you offline, was it yesterday? I think it was, or the day before. And it was like, wow, like you found your purpose. Yeah. And the one thing that Rob Dial has taught me, and I share with the coaches, is like, it's okay not to know what your purpose is. Mm-hmm. However, it's not okay to not try to pursue and find it. And you pursued and found your purpose. So I just want to, as I said, give you your props and love for that, because many people, including myself, like years ago, like would not even ever think about something like that. So you're doing amazing. And you should, as I said, you should definitely feel good about that and celebrate.
I definitely am. And so I'm definitely taking some time to process all of this and step into this new I have all this unlimited time now.
I love it though. That's what it
anybody
is.
else. It gets to go to me, and it's so nice. It's so nice. Feels so good.
Yeah.
All right, let's switch gears a little bit. Now that we're talking about mindset, let's go into sales.
Yeah.
Because this is where we shine. This is where you especially shine. And so what are you seeing right now with the coaching space and online? Like, what are the biggest struggles that people are having when it comes to selling themselves, quote unquote?
The number one, I guess, concern that people have, they say, and you heard it yesterday in the course that you helped me run, is I don't want to seem salesy. I don't want to be a car salesman. I don't want to sound like a car salesman. I don't want to be pushy. And I always ask them, and my favorite response, if you're in sales and you question that and you're like, you know what, I don't want to be salesy, I don't want to do that. There's 3 reasons why people don't buy: value, trust, and fear. How do you find value? You observe, you dig in, you ask the tough questions. By able to find value, you are able to build trust. By able to build trust, you lessen the fear, and there you go, you have a client. It all comes down to being an amazing listener. And the problem that most of us have, including you and I, Brie, I'm sure that we talk fast. We want to, in sales and business, we feel like we have the answer. Oh, we know what to do. Objection, objection. But what I'm learning from the coaching program and helping a lot of these amazing people is that they do a great job building the rapport. They do a great job digging in and finding everything. They do a great job throughout the whole process. But when it comes down to the close and objections, they fumble, they get nervous. And my thought and my theory is the reason why they are insecure about asking for money is because they don't trust themselves.
Yeah.
And the reason why they don't trust themselves is because they, in my opinion, again, they're thinking with their wallet.
Yes.
They're thinking that, hey, I may not want to pay for this coaching program, but what makes you think Ammar won't pay for it or Brie won't pay for it? That to me is the biggest thing, is like, don't think with your wallet when you're offering sales. Don't think that they're not going to buy because you wouldn't buy. That is like the biggest advice for anybody who's in sales, no matter what industry, real estate, car salesman, commission-based, anything. Don't think with your wallet.
Exactly. And I see that all the time. I have definitely thought with my own wallet before too, and probably not given people the option for themselves. And I see this a lot too. And we pre-qualify people, we prejudge people without actually asking and knowing their situation.
Yeah.
Because again, we're bringing our trauma or our beliefs or our subconscious thoughts, and we're projecting it straight onto this human's life, and we have no idea their situation.
No, I mean, there's a member, I'll give her a shout out. My sister from another Mr. Natalie, she used to charge $200 a month. And obviously working with her and training and being a part of the program, I'm proud to say that she's charging $20,000 for 6 months now.
Yeah.
And what shifted, not her strategy, not her script, her mindset.
Yep.
Her mindset shifted. She felt confident. She, instead of having that scarcity mindset, she had that abundant mindset that you just brought up. She realized that, hey, if you need help, Brie, you need me more than I need you.
Yeah.
And that is how she's one of the most successful coaches, I think, in the program, is because you turn that switch off of you believe in yourself. Because if you don't believe in yourself, what makes you think your clients are going to believe in yourself?
Yep. Exactly. And I noticed that yesterday too, is that if we don't know our own value, how is anybody else ever going to see it?
Exactly. And that's why I always say, if you're in sales and if you're in business, you need to know your 30-second elevator pitch. I always say that. It's like, hey, my name is Ammar. I'm a serial entrepreneur. I have businesses. I also am a head coach for Rob Dial, and I help with sales and mindset and looking to change lives, and also have a successful podcast called the Leader's Life Podcast with Ammar. That's my 30-second elevator pitch.
And right here, full circle, you tell the second sentence is, I'm an entrepreneur. And it's not like I'm from New York. Once you're in this space, brag about it. And it's okay to, because it becomes part of who you are.
And that's another thing, like what I was always taught, maybe it came from my upbringing, it definitely did, but it's like, you don't talk about money. You don't talk about how much you make. It's supposed to be a secret. You save, you hoard, because you don't know what's going on. You want to put them under the mattress. You want to bury the rest of the money in the backyard on the dirt. Like you're told to like almost treat money like God. And it's the opposite. It's like money's fucking energy. Money is, money is just like the byproduct of you doing what you're supposed to be doing. And in my opinion, getting paid for what you love to do versus getting that check every other Friday for the, corporate America and being like, okay, got to pay my mortgage, got to pay my water bill, got to pay my cable. Oh, great. I got $43 left for the rest of the week.
But how many people are living like that right now, getting paid twice a month, maybe from their employer, and then sending so many expenses out every month? It's crazy that we just get developed and taught that it's normal to get 1 or 2 paychecks a month, but we spend money every day. And when you become the entrepreneur, we start to break that thinking. It's like, okay, actually, how do I get more money coming in all the time in different ways so that then the inflow and outflow is so much easier? And it's not so, again, we're just not dependent on that employer sending us money twice a month for all of our services rendered.
Yeah. I mean, yeah, perfect. That's exactly what it is. And it's, once again, it's what we're used to. It's the comfort zone. It's what we were embedded. Hey, you go to school to get that degree. And then when you get that degree, you go to college and you go 4 years, you put yourself in debt, you get yourself a loan, and then you pay that student loan for the next 20, 30 years. And then you're just paying bills the rest of your life and you're catching up. And then when you're 65, 70 years old, you're like, holy shit, I did not even live my life because I've been paying this college bill for the past 20, 30 years. And I did not live my dream life going on vacation or enjoying time with my family and kids or my friends, or it's always too late to do that. And one of the books that like changed my outlook on a lot, and I recommend, Brie, if you haven't checked it out, is The 5 Regrets of the Dying.
Oh,
And
okay.
yeah, and one of the biggest regrets is living a life for other people. Not living truly authentic, like not living your true authentic self, doing things because it's the norm, it's comfortable. And, when you see that these people who are in their deathbed, who are doing the 9 to 5 or working 50, 60 hours to put food on the table for their family, hard workers doing what they feel is the right thing to do, it's their number one regret.
Yeah. And this is what I saw every day in my finance office, because my clientele were people in that they were just retiring or they were just building up to retirement or they had just retired. That was the heart of my business. And so it was that I'm going to work really hard. I'm going to get to 65 and then my life can begin, because then I can focus on me. And they're exhausted. Their bodies are just beaten up because all they've done is work themselves basically to death. And then also their identity is so tied in with work. And I have to get to this threshold with money. They get there. They don't know what to do then. They don't know how to spend the money. It feels dirty. It feels wrong because I've worked so hard my whole life for this number. Now I can't spend it. And then they basically live destitute and they hoard all of it because there's so much fear attached to it. And it broke my heart. And then they would die 5 years later with no purpose. None of the money would get spent. And they worked so hard and so long for what?
Oh yeah. And you want to know what, Brie? Unfortunately, that was me my whole life until I started working on my mindset. I've taken my family, my 4 kids and my beautiful wife on vacations since I've started investing myself past 2-3 years, more times than the 8 years since my kids were born. And once again, it's not that I had more money. It's not that I had more skills. It was mindset. I was finally able to say, you know what, like, I have this money and I want to enjoy it. And that was so hard for me to do or say, is to enjoy my money, because I never heard my dad say that. I never heard my grandfather say that. I never heard any of my uncles say that. It was never even a topic. It was like, no, you work to just keep on working for work. And
to be
then you
safe
die.
and to be secure and to be safe. And that's it. Yep.
That's so scary. And I just, as I said, if you are, you're making good money. I mean, we'll do this example. Like we hear this a lot too, Brie. It's like you're making great money and you are happy with the money that you're making, but you hate your job. We call that the
We
golden.
call that Brie. That was Brie.
You call that Brie?
That was me.
Yes. Or the golden handcuffs. I like to call it the golden handcuffs. It's like, hey, you know what? Like, I am making a lot of money and I am so happy with the money that's bringing in, but I'm miserable 60 hours a week because I hate what I do, but I like the pay that I'm getting. That's not okay. Like, you can as I said earlier, you may not know what your passion is, but you should be in constant pursuit of it. And by that, you can do both. I've seen people do both. I've seen Brie do both. I've seen many people, as I said, hundreds and hundreds of amazing people be able to somehow balance it. But if you are that miserable person who just cannot stand work, waking up every day just because, not that you don't like work, it's like you're doing something that is just not aligned for you. As I said, the 5 regrets of the dying. That's one of the regrets. Stop taking time away from your loved ones. Stop taking time away from yourself. Stop taking time away from your peace and mindset and just confidence, because confidence gets shattered in all this when you are living to work instead of, living to enjoy your life.
Exactly. And just the whole concept of fulfillment. I don't know, it's being talked about more and more. It's becoming more of a buzzword because I think people are becoming more awake to all of this, that there are possibilities and options, and you can literally run a business on your phone.
Yeah.
You can be anywhere and do whatever you want with it. It's crazy. But for so many years, we didn't talk about fulfillment. It was just getting that linear job. And so now I talk to people, and I'm sure you do too, taking a step backwards is the scariest thing ever, because we're told you can't take a step backwards. You have to go forwards. Otherwise you've made a mistake.
And that's exactly what you said that perfectly. You cannot take a step backwards. Says who?
Exactly.
Says who? That's the issue, is that we are basing it on the 1940s and 50s work model. Like, that's just what it comes down to. It's like you work. And I'm sorry, but it's like you're never, ever going to live your dream life if you have that type of mindset. If you really feel that that is just the way you're supposed to operate, is just like eat, work, sleep, repeat each and every day, and you're just taking that 1 week vacation just to sit at home because you've been busting your ass this whole time for work, and you're not even enjoying yourself. Or when you are enjoying yourself, and Brie, once again, this is a big thing that I've been working on. I have happiness guilt. When I'm finally happy and I'm doing something like with my family, all of a sudden I'm like, shit, I should be working right now. Shit, I should be checking my numbers right now. Shit, I should be somewhat proactive over here. But then I'm like, no, like, I just busted my ass for that. It's like I talked myself in and out of it. And I could just say is that your mind will make you feel comfortable. However, your gut will guide you to where you need to go. And I said this, like, when I was going to join the Rob's business breakthrough program, I almost canceled because it was uncomfortable. But my gut was like, my intuition was like, no, just try this, just give it a whirl. And my life has changed forever because I decided not to play safe that one moment, but I've played safe my whole life.
And this is really important too. What did you listen to when those thoughts came in?
I went to my wife to ask her.
Well, no, let's go back to the mind and the gut.
Oh, the mind. Oh,
yes.
The mind was telling me, you have an amazing franchises. You have amazing family. You have things that are actually, you have no time for this. This is ridiculous. Why are you going to add more to your plate? That's what my mind was telling me.
Yes.
My gut was telling me, you love to get, like, you never go broke giving. This is right up your alley, Ammar. This is what you've kind of do on the side for free anyway. Why not run with this and see if you can do well in it?
And so exactly. And so let's bring this full circle back to sales. Your mind, if you're new to sales, if you're new to online business, you're just new to business in general, you're going to have automatic thoughts, like just what Ammar said. What are you doing? This doesn't make any sense. This is terrifying. We don't know what we're doing. You're going to have these thoughts. It's the choice of, do I listen to these, or do I listen to what actually feels right to me? And so I see so many coaches in business breakthrough. They're great coaches. They want this. However, the thoughts run people ragged. It takes them out of the game.
Yeah, and that's what it is. And it's, and as I said that, we'll talk like Rob's program, for example, like that, they have, yeah, you're right, the amazing people, but what separates the successful from, not being successful is eliminating that,
Yeah.
not listening to those voices, being able to train yourself into like, this is what I'm going to do. It all starts with a schedule. Like, I'm going to wake up and I'm going to devote X amount of time to my dream, my pursuit. And the people who, I see struggle with that are the ones that are going more towards the safety zone, the safety net. And like, you offer an amazing program. There are people right now that are probably like, hey, I want to do Brie's program, but I'm scared, or oh, I don't know if it's going to work. And you're going to say all that type of stuff. But I can tell you right now, I've seen the program. I've seen her change many people's lives. Like, what more are you going to do? It's either you got to grab the bull by the horn, because I can tell you right now, Brie's not going to go knocking on your door and be like, hey, come over here. I'm not going to go knocking on my door to get
ready to change your life.
Yeah. I mean, I'm not going to chase you down, because at the end of the day, we're not going to chase you down to change your lives. You got to be in charge of your life. We can't tell you, to level up. You got to be the one to be ready to level up. And we've done that. I've seen it happen, Brie, firsthand, where I've asked people to level up and they're like, I'm not ready. I'm not ready to level up. Right. And it's like, if not now, never. Like, that's just my opinion. If not now, never.
It's so true. And so for the coaches out there listening to this too, know too that you do have to catch people and you have to give them the invitation to decide to join. We don't have to trick. And that's why sales doesn't have to be sleazy and slimy and like a car salesman. You can sell with soul by truly, again, listening. What is it that you truly want? What decisions are you struggling with? How can I help you get what you want? Do I have something in my offering book or courses or whatever? Do I have something that can help you get there? If so, I'll invite you to take this opportunity. But there's no forcing. There's no slimy. It's here's your invitation. Take it or leave it. And again, like, I want to help them, but I don't need those people. I don't need to go knock on their doors.
No,
I'll wait for them to be ready. And that's fine.
And you build the authority. Your program's amazing. You've changed lives. And, like, as I said, Rob Dah's program changed lives. Programs
changed our lives.
I changed our lives. Absolutely. But the thing about it is, you were ready to get your life. You were ready to level up. I was ready to level up. Everybody that's listening right now wants to level up. Mm-hmm. But the problem is, they're talking themselves out. They're talking themselves out of living their dreams. They're convincing themselves that being miserable now is okay for some reason or another. They have justified that working the banker hours, working those 9 to 5 or whatever, or maybe the graveyard shift, the second shift, the early shift, whatever your schedule is, you've convinced yourself that this is my life and I will not pursue my dream. But if you are now, let me be very clear. There are people who love their jobs, and I commend you, and I love that. Good for you. Stay there, and that's the whole point. The people who love their job, good for you. It's the people who don't love their job. It's the people who are like, I need to do something else. I can't stand my manager. I can't stand the people who work with me. The toxic environment. I've heard it all and all and all. But at the end of the day, I can lead you to water, but I can't make you drink.
Mm-hmm. I was the queen of I'm fine. How are things going, Brie? Oh, they're fine. I'm fine. Everything's fine. Everything was fine. I'd say with a big smile on my face. It's fine. But truly, it was not fine. It was not fine. I was miserable and I was numbing everything outside of me because inside I was fine. I mean, I wasn't. And so I see that all the time too. And I think part of it came down to that fear of, well, why do I deserve amazing? I didn't feel like I was good enough to deserve amazing in life.
But you deserve miserable, though? Does that mean you deserve miserable?
In that point, that was fine. It was good enough because I was just good enough. And I see this everywhere too, where, well, who am I to coach? Who am I when Tony Robbins exists? Who am I to help somebody with their nutrition when I'm only 10 steps ahead on my journey?
Yeah, but you want to know what, though? That's a great question. And this is for anybody who's starting new. Yeah, you know what? Yeah, you may be 10 steps ahead, but there's somebody that's only 2 steps ahead.
Right.
And they need to get to the 6th step. You can help them with that. And then as you get to the 12th step and the 15th step, then you can help people along that way. that is the whole thing, is that you've gone through struggles, you've gone through adversity, you've gone through a lot of things that you can share with your clients, with your potential clients, with your listeners. People are scared to talk about their struggles. People think that, hey, let me fake it to make it and post it. I have I'm on a private jet, or I'm going to just, as I said, fake it to make it. No need to put it out there. But like, it's just like, live your true, authentic life. Go out there, I'll say it again and again. If you don't know what your passion is, fucking go out there and find it, look for it, and live it. Like, live it, because life is short. At the grand scheme of things, you should not be saying, I'm fine, I'm good, I'm comfortable, it pays the bills. You know, like that one right there. I hear that, oh, it pays the bills. Good. Well, does it make you fucking happy?
Right. Are you fulfilled? Does it light your soul on fire? Do you feel like you're actually alive, or do you feel like a zombie? I was a zombie. Oh
yeah. I mean, there's just so many people that way. And that's, as I said, if there's one thing I want anybody to get out of this whole podcast, is find what makes you happy and see if you can make a career out of it. Because I've seen it firsthand. I've seen death coaches. I've seen refrigerator coaches. I've seen grieving coaches. I've seen so many horse riding coaching, like, I've seen it all. And it's simply because people have their passion and then make it into a business. And it's not as hard as you think, as you've seen as well, Brie.
Yep. And the big key here is not always focusing on the how. Okay, I love horses. How am I going to do this? It's focusing on what and why. What do I truly want? And why am I going to make it happen?
That's it.
I feel like we could end there. That feels very complete.
I mean, she's complete too. Yeah, no, this has been great.
Awesome. All right. One last question and then we will end. If you had to give advice just to somebody brand new that has those feelings, like, I want to start an online business, Ammar, where do I begin? Or like, what would be your biggest piece of advice for the mindset for them to carry forward after this?
Okay, this is what I would say. Like, if you have a leak in your sink, right? Who are you gonna call? Plumber. If you have something wrong with your electricity, who are you gonna call? Electrician, right? I would say, if you want somebody who wants to start that business, reach out to Brie. Reach out to a specialist, a professional who's done it before. As I said, the plumber, you call the plumber when something's going on. You call the electrician when something's going on. You call the HVAC when something's going on. Go call a professional who's been there. So that's my advice, is go out there, hire a mentor, hire a coach. Brie does this this is Brie's podcast, and here I am promoting her stuff. I'm so passionate about how good Brie is and I've seen her change so many people's lives. So yeah, hire an expert. And then once again, ready, fire, aim. Just grab that bull by the horn, because I promise you, if you don't grab that bull by the horn, I said it again, change happens in two ways. Either you control the change, or the universe is going to make that change for you. And they're not that generous sometimes.
I agree. Yep. And I am glad that I took that great leap and invested in myself and got to meet Ammar. And again, our lives have completely shifted in the past year, 180 or more degrees.
I agree. And
everybody can do this if you just take that leap of faith.
And it's just the beginning for you, Brie. I cannot wait to see where you go in just a month from now.
Oh, it's going to be crazy. I cannot wait. Thank you for being here and being one of my guides.
Of course. Thank you for being one of my girls. And I'm so proud of you. And as I said, I'm always here for support. And thank you for taking time and having me on this amazing podcast. Absolutely. Thank you for being here with us. And how do we find you on social media if you want them to check out your podcast? Yeah, we'll just, you can put on the show notes, but I'm at Leaders Life Podcast. I have a podcast called the Leader Life Podcast with Ammar, and right then I'll put and I'm on Instagram active. So at Leader Life Podcast. And that's how you can just send messages. I respond to everybody, and just check it out. It's pretty badass. Beautiful. All right. Thank you. Thank you for being my first official guest. This has been wonderful. And I'm sure I'll bring you back and we will have more of this to come. I love it. Thank you so much again.